Hello everyone and welcome back to another ranking video here on Questrified. My name is Sarahfina.
And my name is Bray.
And now that we have completed all the reviews of the Psycho franchise, we thought we would take a moment and rank the films in the order in which we enjoyed them. We will start with our least favorite and work our way up to our favorite. Let's get into it. Bray, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is Psycho from 1998. This movie has no real purpose of being in existence, and they had followed up Anthony Perkins with Vince Vaughn. How did they think this was going to go down?
My number 5 is Psycho 1998 as well. I didn't even want this one to be on the list, period, because this movie was a train wreck. The casting was terrible, the acting was downright illegal, and the fact that Gus Van Sant added nothing to this movie makes it feel more like plagiarism than paying homage to a great slasher movie. Vince Vaughn as Norman Bates is not a fit. Vaughn looks as if he's put no effort into his character, and at times it feels like he's reading off a script. There is no pain or any other emotion invoked during his performance. I understand why this movie bombed. You cannot take a great movie from the past and try to put it in modern times without changing the dialogue. People's manner of speaking changes with the times. I never want to see or hear about this movie again. Stick with the original if you want to witness the story that is Psycho. Number 4, Bray.
My number 4 is Psycho 4: The Beginning. For Anthony Perkins' send-off, it is a fitting send-off for him, and he delivers the best performance of the whole movie, and CCH Pounder does a really great job playing Fran Ambrose. But the flashback sequences, that's what really starts to drag this film down.
Exactly. My number 4 is Psycho 4 as well. I am truly saddened that this was Tony Perkins' last film, but he looks good in it, and he has not lost his ability to capture your attention. Tony, along with CCH Pounder, really made this movie something. I mean, it really is just the two of them carrying this picture. I think the flashback scenes are not very good, and all the retconning did not help the situation. Like Psycho 1998, there was no real writer credited for this except Joseph Stefano, as he wrote the original. This is the movie that we salute Tony Perkins and Norman Bates and send them both into that good night. It is sad, but you are appreciative at the same time. Bray, your number 3?
My number 3 is the 1960 Psycho. This movie, the Anthony Perkins sections of this film, the whole about second half of the film, it really boosts itself up and has attained its cult status because of that. But the first half of it, that whole build up to Norman, especially if you've watched it before and you're on multiple rewatches, you're not looking forward to that first half of it. You're looking forward to Anthony Perkins. So having to watch as Marion steals the money and makes her way out there, as a cop gets uncomfortably close to the camera and all this stuff happens, you're kind of bored at first. It's only once Anthony Perkins comes in and he delivers his monologues and the actual film seemingly starts now, that's where it picks up.
Number 3 for me is Psycho 3. I look at this movie as a guilty pleasure. It strays into the odd and fantastical. It is a nice little jaunt back into the Psycho world, and I am pleased to see Tony Perkins directing. It is a good continuation after Psycho 2, but it does not pack the exact same emotional punch as the first and second ones do. I will always watch this if it comes up, and I enjoy it immensely. Bray, number 2?
My number 2 is Psycho 3. For as weird as this movie gets with Jeff Fahey, especially, this movie, at first when you watch it, it's like, man, they're borrowing too much from the original. That's kind of boring, really, them just rehashing that. But it grows on you, I think. You have Anthony Perkins' performance as he plays a much more, obviously, improved Norman this time around, and he's always just a delight to watch. But even though Jeff Fahey's a very weird person in this movie with his character Dwayne Duke adds a lot to it. He's somehow another good character to enjoy. Some of the downsides though to this movie is stuff like Maureen and that Venable. Those two are they start to bring this movie down, but at least though they don't bring it down enough to a point where it's a complete and utter mess.
I had to think about this, but I put the original Psycho from 1960 as number 2. The most important thing that you look for in a Psycho movie is Norman Bates, and the 1960 film kind of takes its time getting to him, but once you do, you are thoroughly entertained. From the dialogue to the way it is acted, the whole film is perfection. I understand why this has become a classic and continues to hold up as the years roll by. Great cinema here. And your number one?
My number one is Psycho 2. Psycho 2, I think, is a very well done follow-up to the original Psycho. This is where Anthony Perkins is given a lot more of a performance because he's in it for the whole duration. This is a whole story about him. It doesn't really deviate from him that much. And even though you have people like Meg Tilly's Mary, there's still so much about this movie that has aged gracefully with it.
I agree. Psycho 2 was a great direct sequel to the original. It paid tribute to that movie, and it didn't change so much like the later movies would. Tony Perkins in this one is so innocent and vulnerable that you get hooked on him. And so in later movies, when he's doing these horrible things, you still want to root for him. It is amazing. I remember the summer between my 7th and 8th grade years, I watched this movie every day that summer. I just have a love for it that has stuck with me for all these years. It's a really good movie and one you don't get tired of. Next week, we will be doing a one-off movie, and that is
Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. A quick interlude before we start up another series.
It's like a mockumentary.
Yeah, I think a much better meta-type horror film than, per se, Scream.
Thank you for joining us. Please take care of yourselves.
Bye.
Bye.